Welcome everyone. Hello again, and welcome to another Lunch and Learn in our ongoing Financial Friday series. Saney's is excited to offer these sessions in cooperation with our corporate partner, Equitable Advisors. Equitable has a long-standing presence in New York, and a large portion of Equitable's New York client base is built upon the work they do within the public education system. Through Equitable, Saney's members can receive a complimentary insurance rates and a full array of retirement services, including a complimentary financial profile for Saney's members, which we urge you to take advantage of. It's a great benefit. Our Equitable presenter today is Greg Ronenberger, Equitable Advisors Regional Vice President. Before we get started, please note that participants are muted during the session, but we'll have some question and answer time following the presentation. If you do have a question, just type it in the Q&A panel. We're also recording the session, and it'll be available at saneys.org. And with that, I'll turn the presentation over to Greg.
All right, Annika, thank you very much. And thanks everyone for attending here today. Happy Friday. Last Friday of the, last Financial Friday series of the school year here. And can you believe we're at summer already, or it's right around the corner, summer break. So it's very exciting to give us an opportunity to maybe have some fun and take a little break here. But we're going to go through a few different things on this summer planning checklist that we might be able to do to tidy up here in the summertime from a financial standpoint. So it seems like just yesterday we were making our New Year's resolutions and saying goodbye to 2020 right here. If we remember this, the quarantine and then this hybrid learning, and we're almost done with it. And hopefully September brings us back fully in to the buildings, and we have some type of normalcy here. But it's been tough. We thought that 2021, the calendar turned and that would be the end of it, and it wasn't quite the end of it. We're still dealing with some of the stuff. So the first thing really on the checklist is take a break. Take a mental break from all the stress, everything that's been going on. And it's important to do that. We talk about financial fitness being very important, but just the whole mental fitness is very important as well. And you folks have been through an awful lot over the past year and a half or so. So we do encourage everyone that just take a little break. You need it. Kids need it too. If you have kids that are in school, they need to break. We're talking about doing that as well at the end of the school year for our kids. They're 14 and 9, and they could certainly use it. Which, by the way, if anyone has any recommendations for a long weekend or something throughout the state, feel free to throw that in the chat. We're finding that a lot of places are booked up mid to late June into July, and then really for the summertime, it's tough to find a spot. What we're seeing out there. So if you have any ideas throughout the state, be happy to take them. But hopefully everyone gets a chance to take a little break and recharge before getting back into it. But getting on from a financial standpoint, some of the things that we're going to show you here tie into that financial analysis that is available for all of you as Saney's members. So we do encourage you to take a look and see what's available as we go through some of the checklist items here. The second thing is to take an inventory of your accounts and what you have going on, and actually decided to take my own advice when I was putting this together here and started my own checklist, just because things change over time and we forget different accounts that were out there, or something updated and we need to have it in there. So what you're seeing here is what we call an asset map, and the asset map is really just a conglomeration of everything that you have, and it's on one sheet. So it looks at income and assets and insurances and just everything you could think of from a financial standpoint, puts it all together on one sheet for very easy viewing, easy to see, easy to really coordinate everything. Some items to consider here as we're going through that inventory. Look at your beneficiaries. How many of us set up our benefit plans at work when we were 23, 24 years old, maybe set up through the teacher's retirement system and put our parents on as beneficiaries and haven't changed it? And now we're married, we have kids, and we still got people on as beneficiaries. Maybe we thought we were being cute back in the day when we put cousin Freddie on as our beneficiary, and cousin Freddie is in and out of jail or something of that nature. I mean, we see the goofiest things and someone says, well, why is that person still on there? I have no idea. But having a beneficiary audit is really important. Let's make sure that the right people are on the accounts and we've got what we want on there. Sometimes we just have accounts we forgot about. Like we mentioned, you see a statement come in the mail, or you look and say, oh, gee, I forgot about that. Or maybe you worked in different school districts, and maybe you worked in private industry and you have old 401k plans, and you just have 3 or 4 plans out there. Maybe your spouse or significant other has multiple plans out there, and you say, you know what, we should really consolidate these things together. Just start to simplify things, make your life a little bit easier. So that's always a good option to take advantage of. And sometimes those older accounts, it's just like maybe an automobile. You've got a car maybe from 8, 10, 12 years ago, and you look at the newer vehicles and they're updated. Safety features are updated. They're much more efficient and economical nowadays. You're not going to drive the same car you drove for 20, 30 years. You're not going to wear the same clothes for 20, 30 years in most cases. So look at what's available out there, look at what's new out there, and maybe take advantage of some of those benefits. Let's look at our debts too. Can we consolidate some debts? Can we consolidate some payments? Are we paying minimum balances on things that maybe there's some extra cash flow that we could pay off some higher interest things first, or we could take advantage of low interest rates out there, whether this be credit cards or student loans or home equity or things of that nature. Maybe there are some ways to consolidate some things, get one payment, get a lower interest rate, and really hammer down on some of the debt that we might have out there. What about our wills and guardianships? Are there things out there that we need to put in place? I know for ourselves too. You set up a will and you kind of leave it alone. It's not something you think about a lot of times. Well, maybe if you've got kids and you name someone as a guardian, maybe those people are not well equipped to do that anymore. Maybe you named one of your best friends who was your neighbor and you've moved and you don't really talk to those people anymore. Well, if they're listed as guardians for your kids, it's a legal document and that has to be enforced or it's going to be contested. So it's always a good idea to update those legal documents as well. Speaking of the TRS with the beneficiaries, let's look at our TRS info. Let's go on to trs.org and sign in. If we haven't signed in, created an online account, we want to do that. Get the account set up and let's check our years of service. Let's check the income that they have for us here. Let's make sure that the benefits that they have on there are accurate, because it's very tough. If you notice a mistake from the past year or two, we probably have that documentation. It's easy enough to get that updated. If we wait until retirement and it's 20 years down the road, then we got to go back and try and get documentation from 2 decades ago. It might not be as easy to do so. So making sure that information is accurate. Same with Social Security. I apologize, I meant to put the website on there. It's ssa.gov. Let's make sure that our Social Security is up to date. They've got the right earnings records on there. They've got the right information on there. Let's make sure that benefits are being paid to somebody. Unfortunately, there's a lot out there that when people look at fraudulent activities, that's why it's also a good idea to update a lot of this stuff, make sure passwords are updated too. When we came back into the office was last July or so, I remember getting an email from HR asking me why I applied for unemployment benefits. And I said, I didn't apply for unemployment benefits. What are you talking about? Well, someone went into the system and applied for unemployment benefits on my record. Now, fortunately, nothing got paid out. It didn't go through. They were able to stop it. But there are stories of people that go to apply for Social Security and the Social Security department says, we're already paying you. We've been paying you for 12 years. Well, where's the money going to? A bank account in Arkansas. We don't live in Arkansas. So we want to make sure that we're up to date there, the information is accurate, and that it is secured. And speaking of security, it's not a bad idea to go on to check our credit reports. Annualcreditreport.com is the government site. It's free. You don't have to put in any payment information or anything. So if you go on any credit reporting agency site and it asks you for money, whether it be a subscription service or pay a fee for this, that's not the right site. If you go on annualcreditreport.com, you could get a credit report from the 3 crediting agencies for free every 12 months. So a recommendation would be grab at least one of them or 2 of them maybe for right now. And if 2 of them have the same information, then chances are the 3rd one's going to have the same information too. But you can make sure everything's up to date on there, and you can make sure there are no accounts there that you don't know about. And the reason I say don't get all 3 of them, because maybe it's something you do 6 months from now. You get the 3rd one, and then every 6 months or every 4 months, really, you could cycle through a rotation and grab one if you want to. So those things are pretty important to go on grab as well. Look at your asset allocation in your accounts. Are you overextended in the stock market? Are you not aggressive enough? And we'll talk a little bit more about investments in a bit here, but it's always good to check in and see, when is the last time I reviewed how my assets are allocated in my different plans. Shopping out insurances, whether it be life insurance, disability, it could be your homeowner's insurance, your auto insurance. Kind of fortunate thing happened to me in the summertime. Someone from the insurance company came by to do an audit, I guess, of the property, and he or she noticed there's a trampoline in the backyard. Now, I've had it for like 8 years, but they said, we're not covering trampolines. And they dropped me from the insurance after I think I've had them for 15 years. So the broker shopped around and actually got a better policy at a lower rate, which was great. So saved a few $100. It was very fortunate to do that. The homeowners, the auto insurance, it's a very competitive industry, and even life insurance is very competitive as well. So let's get out there, and then maybe you could save some money. If you could save $50, $75 a month, hey, why not do that and allocate those resources elsewhere? Look at home projects too. Make a list of the things that you want to get done, and come up with a plan to do those. Maybe there's some gardening, there's some landscaping you've always wanted to do, or you got a couple of light switches that are messed up, so you need to just change some things out in the house. So nice idea, just again, more from the mental mindset. It's nice to accomplish these things and to then look around and say, hey, it's nice that we got these things taken care of here. So look at those. And then it's always a good idea to check on your monthly expenses. No one likes to budget. We understand that. No one wants to be put on a budget, but it's really helpful to look at what's coming in versus what's going out. And then to say, okay, what do we need to adjust or change, or what can we do to put ourselves in a better position? It's always really helpful to do that. We couldn't tell you how many times we talk to people about, well, let's go through your monthly expenses, and it's how it's challenging just to say, all right, well, we don't really know where our money goes. Nice to have an inventory of those things. So this isn't necessarily a comprehensive list of everything, but just some things that we came up with that would be good to consider. Third item is do a forecast of your plan, and this goes into retirement planning, could go into insurance coverage, things of that nature. So here's an idea of what one looks like, and this is right on a website that we have, and I'll give you the link in a second here. But you could put in age, income, how much you have saved up till this point, and what you're doing on a monthly basis, and it'll give you an evaluation. This particular one is right on our site, Equitable.com/educators. And you just, if you go on that site, scroll down a little bit, it's right on there. Very simple. You put in your information. I will note when you hit get your evaluation, it takes like 8 to 10 seconds to show something. I thought the thing was broken, but it might take a little bit. But you could get a forecast out, but also see how you stack up against your peers. And you could see for this particular person here, I just made up numbers, I threw them in there. But sometimes it's nice to take a look and say, well, where am I at, but also where am I at compared to maybe my peer group out there, and see where you're at. So you could see that, this person here is a bit behind their peer group. So it might make you think, well, maybe I should take a step up here. Once you have that forecast, then the fourth thing is, where can we improve? So if we see that we're a little behind, or if we say, hey, we're not really where we want to be, this is part of that site as well, where you could go in and you could play with some different assumptions here. Well, what if I moved my contribution up a little bit? What if I saved a little bit more? what is the impact that that'll have? What if I change my retirement age? Or all right, I put in 65,000 and we're doing this account audit and we find out, oh, there's an extra account here, I forgot about it. Throw it right in there. What if we could impact our rate of return? We'll talk about that in a minute here as well. But there are some different things that you could do, some different sliders here to make it very convenient to see what the impact will have on some of these areas. And we have, through this asset map program, again, through this financial profile that we could do for your folks, a comparison. So this shows what someone's situation is. Again, made up people, so I'm not giving away anyone's secrets here, but here's an example of a retirement funding analysis that we could do that shows what percentage of our retirement plan is funded. So these people, you could see they're 48% funded for their retirement goals. We look at what someone has going on currently. We look at where they want to be, say come retirement time in this example, and where are they at? Are they on pace or not? And what we could also do is look at the some different assumptions, some different changes, and what is the impact of those changes. So here we look at an increase in savings. What we've done for this one here is we said, well, what if we increase our savings rate a little bit? What is the impact it's going to have? And this one here, as you can see, we added a 403B plan. So adding a 403B and adding some savings in there made a big difference, 25% increase for this person's retirement picture just by making in addition there with the retirement savings. And this is something we didn't put in a huge amount. We just put in a normal savings rate on there. So that one way to change and improve your situation certainly is to save more. The other is to look at what we are receiving from a return standpoint. And this is very important as well. When we look at, we're in a still an upward market. We've been very fortunate, I should say, that we've had an up market for all these years, but good things don't last forever. And that's why we encourage people to look at their asset allocation, look at, are they taking on too much risk right now? Did I set it up at 25 and now I'm 45 and I'm still aggressive in my account? Well, when I was 25, it didn't matter because I was just starting to save. But now that I'm 45 and I'm getting closer to retirement, maybe I want to scale back. So an option that we have so this is specific to a 403B plan with Equitable. And I bring it up because it's very unique and it's, I think, a very helpful type of plan that we want to tell people about because it is, I think it's a very, very opportunistic plan for people right now. So it's called Semester Strategies. And what it does is it has a mix of different options in there. It has a mix of some stocks and some bonds, but also it's got an account with some downside protection as well. So the first part that makes it pretty unique is that it still has upside market potential, but it's got some downside protection to it as well that could help partially protect us from market corrections. And I think that's very important nowadays, especially in the near term going forward, because markets do correct themselves. They don't go up forever. The second thing is it does help. It's got this glide path, as you can see, where it's more aggressive initially and more conservative later on down the road. And there are different types of plans that do this, that they're called target date funds. And target date funds I don't always agree with, because who's to say that you should get more conservative at this point in time. But with this Semester Strategies portfolio, because of that downside protection plan inside of there, I think it makes a lot of sense for this plan. The third thing that makes it unique is that it's got a fiduciary overlay around it. And there's a lot of talk about having fiduciary oversight in retirement plans. This one has it inside of that program. So all those things, and it's also very inexpensive as well from a fee standpoint. So when we look at 403B plans and opportunities out there from an investment standpoint, this one here, there's nothing like this in any other 403B program, I will say. So this is something I think if you're looking at your investments and you're looking at your allocations and you say, how can we perhaps earn a higher return but not take on too much undue risk? How can we really firm up our retirement picture? This is certainly something to take a look at. So I put it out there for you folks just to give you an idea of something that is out there that you might not have exposure to. And then the fifth item is get some help. There are a lot of studies out there that were commissioned from many different sources, and it states that educators that work with a financial professional on their 403B in their full financial planning have many different benefits that they've seen. So they tend to have higher account balances inside of their plans. You can see almost double for people that work with a financial professional. And this isn't just with Equitable, this is any financial professional out there. Tend to have a greater amount of funds inside their program too, so they're more diversified inside their plan. They have more confidence in their ability to reach their goals, and knowledge is power a lot of times in this business here. So having the knowledge of what's going on, we do really educate our clients so that they have the ability to know what's going on and to be able to have that confidence in their plans. They tend to contribute more and increase their contributions a lot more as well. And for just the simple fact that we tell people to do it in working reviews with people and say we should be contributing more. And when we do those forecasts that you saw before, a little bit today makes a big difference down the road. And when people understand that and say, all right, an extra $50 per paycheck is going to give me an extra, this much amount, an extra maybe $400 or $500 per month in retirement. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that. And then they do tend to, again, just the concerns that people have can be addressed from folks that are working with advisors, because as we see, people in different age groups have different concerns, and there's no one size fits all to financial planning. By having someone to help you through this is going to be very helpful, because that person could work with you to really key on to what your concerns are and then help you come up with a strategy to address those. So again, the site that's out there that's available initially is equitable.com/educators. You're going to see some of this information on there, which is very helpful. Now, one thing that you will, there's some videos on there. There's a lot of different stuff on there. The one thing that you will see on there too, which I recommend you don't do, is there is a link on the site that says, oh, if you want to set up a 403B, click here. It's an online enrollment. You're not going to work with anyone. I recommend you do not do that, and the people at the company will probably be mad at me if I say that, but contact someone locally in your area. If you've got people that you work with, great, go back to them, refresh what's going on. But if you do need some help, then we could certainly help you. These are the folks in the regions that are available for you, and I think we put this out there quite a bit. This is right on the Saney's website as well, so you could get this information from the Saney site, or simply by calling up Saney's and asking them who the rep is in the area that could help you. These are the folks here. So pretty quick, pretty straightforward. Hopefully gave you some good ideas that you could take a look at when you're looking at putting your plans together for the summertime. So I'm going to take a look and see if there's anything. There was one thing in the chat. Oh, Great Wolf Lodge, Kalahari Water Park. We'll definitely take a look at that. Thank you very much for that recommendation. Any questions? I'm not seeing any questions in the chat right now, but we'll kind of hang out here to see if anyone has anything that they would like to ask here. Anything at all, please feel free to just throw it in the chat or in the Q&A, and be happy to stick around for a few minutes, answer any questions that you have. Got some thank yous. You're very welcome. How do I handle a loan? Not really sure. How do you handle a loan versus if you have a loan right now existing and you want to, perhaps this is referring to, New York State teachers retirement loan. So if you have one already and you're looking to pay it back, you're looking to take a loan out. So I'm not really sure exactly where we're at here, but if you have one outstanding already, you're on a payment schedule to pay it back, you can prepay or pay extra on your loan to get that paid off a little bit earlier. You don't want to retire with an outstanding loan, because that will reduce your benefit. And certainly, yes, we could talk after. But if if you have a loan and you retire with an outstanding loan, that's going to permanently reduce your pension benefit for lifetime. So you really don't want to do that. You want to get that taken care of beforehand. And maybe it's just, if we don't have the cash to do it, maybe you take a home equity loan or something else to pay off that loan there. But we could certainly chat afterwards. I'll put my phone number in the chat here, which everyone should be able to see. And then certainly we could chat about that individually. Let's see, possible to receive access to the recording. They are posted on the Saney's website, right, Annika?
Yes, I'll be posting it on the Saney's website within the next couple days.
Yep, so they're on there so that everyone can see it and go back. I'm sure that you just want to listen to my voice over and over and over again. That can't be too annoying for you folks, but the information, all of the Financial Friday webinars are recorded and posted to the website for you to go back to. So if you go back, you see a topic you have an interest in hearing about again, or maybe you missed one, you can certainly go on and check it out. Okay, awesome and informative. Thank you very much. I'm going to put that on my business card. Appreciate that.
Okay,
it's fun. It's a lot of fun for us to provide information to folks. We really do enjoy it, and we appreciate what you folks do as well. So we're happy to help.
It looks like we don't have any more questions, Greg. So I think we can probably wrap it up.
Works for me. A couple minutes early. We'll take it. Annika, okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate the help.
And thank you, everyone. If you do think of any questions that weren't answered today, please go to the Saney's website to contact your local Equitable representative. And again, we will be posting the video on the Saney's website for everyone to watch at a later date and refresh anything that you might need to know. Thanks again, Greg, and have a great weekend, everyone.
All right, take care, everybody.